closed meeting of the General Government and Public Safety Committee to order. I know attendance has already been taken. Comments from citizens? And Linda doesn't have any. Moving on, Public Safety Fire Department activity report. That information's in your packet. Debbie, is there anything you want to point out?
I think you all should see that the total for the year was 701 calls, which is crazy in my book, but that's what it is. That's a little bit.
Linda had asked a question about vehicle unlocks. I didn't realize you guys did vehicle unlocks.
We do, I mean, if a person would call it in, I mean, I think the police also sometimes maybe do it.
Well, the only time that I would let them do it is if we had a lockout kit, and I haven't seen one of those. Lockout kit is really easy. Putting a Slim Jim in a door.
No, we don't do that, no.
They had one. They had a lockout kit with this, did you bring it back?
I would say at one time
It's
they
got a
had
serial
one.
number on it, I want it back.
I borrowed it, the city truck unlocked one, so they did have one.
Okay, I haven't seen it, but that's the only time.
Yeah, it's not the Slim Jim though, is it?
No, he had
It's
the
got
wedges.
airbags.
No, he had the wedges, the airbag.
Yeah, they
That's
got,
all we
I think
do.
they got one or two of them over there.
I'll check, I haven't seen one, so, but that doesn't mean anything yet.
You're still learning, aren't you?
I mean, we don't, when we get, we have, I've had people call me, I don't get the whole kit and caboodle out to unlock a car, I'll go do it or something like that, you know, so we don't make a big issue out of it.
Looks curious.
You'll make blacksmiths all mad.
I was just curious, 701, do you happen to recall what previous year?
610, wasn't it, 600, last year, or 2000, what are we in, 2020? It was the year 2020. It was probably, I don't know, it was about 600, 610, something like that.
Did it?
I was wondering if you guys were over there, so she's not smoking her house
15%
on?
increase.
I was just wondering why, there was like 3 fire trucks on Mystic, and then I just saw why, so.
Is anybody writing anything down?
Yes, you're on camera, so.
Danny, what percentage of that is overdoses now, would you say?
Well, the medical end of it, you notice was what was it, it was,
That's
600.
the increase, the medical side?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
but we've
I'd say
done,
it's 80 to 90% medical.
but,
Car accidents.
the overdose part of it is becoming more and more.
Yep, y'all carry Narcan, obviously.
No, I need to talk to you about that. I mean, when the previous administration was there, the police took it over. We've been on some calls. Yeah. We've been on some calls. We've been on some calls where we don't have it and you all wasn't there. So I mean, it's like, whoops.
You can have some,
Okay.
I'll give it to you.
I mean, it's a bad deal when you gotta do it anyway, so it's.
No, yeah, absolutely, which I don't understand, whatever, okay,
Yeah.
we're good.
So, back to others, only thing, I mean, we did our Christmas thing went, you know, it was fun, it's always fun. Had some extra people in town help us do it, which they like doing it, so that worked out.
Good.
I think we stacked up 1,400 bags and we might have had 110 maybe left over, something like that. I mean, Christmas on a weekend is a guest, you know, and all the people are in town, out of town.
Sure.
But we're learning where all the kids are in town, where they're not, because you can pretty well tell.
I noticed some of our neighbors didn't go out, so I don't think they knew about it. So
And that's what, you know,
And I was, you know, in slippers and sweats when you guys came out, so I wasn't running across the street to make sure they knew.
it's just, I mean, they put it in the paper, you know, but I don't think, you know, we get a lot of probably new people every year come to town and they don't,
The family I'm thinking of, they moved in this year, so
and they probably don't
I
understand.
hadn't
what's
thought
going on.
about it.
We'll
Yeah.
have to tell them for next year.
They're just
I
thinking that's the
definitely
slowest response to a fire emergency.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, it's kind of a weird deal here.
Yeah.
We didn't know what it was for years. I mean, my kids never went out because we didn't realize what it was. Even though we saw you guys drive by, it just, there
Was
was
Santa on the
kids.
back?
One year when Anthony and Kelby, they were younger, and they were sick, so I didn't go out. The Santa came and knocked on the door and said, "Why aren't you bringing these boys out?" And I was like, I still to this day don't know who he was. And I was like, "They're growing up."
Same.
So he was like,
Santa knows everybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't know who. I mean, he was obviously somebody, but I don't. He was like, "Why are you bringing the boys out?" And I'm like, "Well, they're growing up."
It's just, it's, you know, next year they probably understand it. You know.
Yeah.
Then there'll be some others that don't, so
Sure.
it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
In 2020, you had 589 calls.
That's close to 600.
It's about 120 more in round numbers, so 20% increase. Wow.
I don't see it getting any slower, so. And then as far as the truck, we still haven't got it back, you know, we didn't have, lost it. They texted me today and said it's back to they took it to the Ford dealer up there because it had a pinch wire from the fuel or diesel injectors. Which they wanna know if we did that, but it was pinched between like the motor and the frame, but we didn't put the motor in the truck, I mean, it's like one of them things, so. It was done probably from the factory when it was made, so. So they've got it back to Banner, which is still trying to figure out why it's not pumping. It's a lot of time. They called me the other day and wanted to know if we've welded on it, and I'm like, what? I said, no, and then before I could say no, he wanted to know if lightning had struck it. I said, no. So apparently, there's an electronic, something has messed up the electronics in it, so. But he told me today they're gonna go over it one more time, and we could probably get it back, so. I don't know if it means.
Is
Is it gonna be fixed when it gets back?
Yeah.
Huh?
Will
No,
it
but it'll look cool whenever we go.
be, will it be fixed, or are they just gonna send it
Listen,
back?
it always pumped water.
It just
But-
won't mix the match.
But for a test, we got to turn into ISO,
Uh-huh.
you have to run it for like 4 minutes at 230 PSI. And it kills out about 2 minutes into the thing. Which, we never run a truck that high anyway when you're fighting a fire, so I mean, it's like the truck will still work, it just messes us up on the city's insurance part of it. So I mean, I think we're gonna have to get with them and say, hey, if it's failing, you're gonna have to go tell ISO that what you built don't work, or something. Give us some kind of excuse, you know. But I mean, it still runs, pumps water,
I'd
does
rather it work the way it's supposed to.
Well, yeah.
And
Actually, the
they might
insurance
pump it
company would
tomorrow.
do.
Trade a bucket truck.
Trading bucket truck.
But they're gonna, if they look at it tomorrow, let them run through it again, and then I'll see, and then we're just gonna go get it and stuff.
Sounds like they're finding issues, just a matter whether.
I don't think they can find it, I think it has issues, they can't find it, what's
Well,
telling me.
pinched wires and.
Yeah, well, that comes from being built, and then
Yeah.
the Banner people said that had to happen when the truck was being assembled. You just can't stick an injector wire in between the frame and the motor. So, I don't know. We'll get her fixed, get her back, keep on running.
Great. Any other questions for the fire department? Okay, moving on, police department, activity report, information's in your packet. Chief, is there anything you want to point out?
No, just this is week 4. We're finally getting some new uniforms in, we're finally getting some of the other equipment in. But as far as facility updating, any of that, we haven't done any of that stuff yet. I had a case in point today, just to drive the point home a little bit. We have a juvenile who we brought in under arrest, and he had a knife at his house, and he was sitting in the hallway at the police department, which is still just foreign to me, but, you know, eventually I'd like to talk to, you know, maybe Public Works about getting some of that stuff remedied, so. But anyway, we're moving forward, yeah.
Any questions for the police department? Hearing none, moving on to emergency management. Anything?
No.
Okay. Protective inspection update on 405 North Rollins.
Yeah, that's the Maranatha Church. So, we have
there are new owners of the B&B Tire location, and they are also interested in buying this. So we went back, really started digging into, the information that we had, so, it seems like, I don't know, I kind of feel like these people might have been sent on a wild goose chase in 2016, but, here we are. And so, anyway, so they've been looking for this form that maybe doesn't exist. After talking to the title company, we have a direction to go, and then we've spoken with one of the people on the board that's listed as one of the last board members, and then the other two are still around the area, so all they have to do is sign a paper to sell this. So we're looking at selling it. It'd be a lot easier if they sell it and then the new owners tear it down than if the city does it and then we have to put a lien on the property for a church. That's out of Columbia. I mean, this one, obviously, it's not incorporated anymore. All of the documents are out of date, so this would be the much easier option. So we're going through the motions, but if it's not done by the first part of February, then we will look at an administrative hearing for abatement.
Moving on, Park Board, there's an agenda, meeting minutes, and the Park Board goals. Any questions or comments on those? Hearing none, moving on to Economic Development, Chamber of Commerce.
The monthly meeting is tomorrow. I don't have any minutes or anything from prior meetings. It was submitted.
Library Board agenda and the meeting minutes are in the packet. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, moving on to the balance sheet and the budget reports. Anything you want to point out, Heather?
No, not right now. The fund balances are looking pretty healthy, but we're getting into budget time, and so, I actually have a roundtable discussion this week. We don't have a date set, time set. I think it'll be Thursday or Friday, with department heads. The police department will talk separately about theirs, and, the department's gonna be in a training on Thursday and Friday, of this week, so. Anyway, and then after that, we do still need to do a board retreat, but I'd like to have more information to be able to present at that after I've spoken with department heads. So we'll set that up for, later in January, early February.
Okay. Accounts payable over $1,250. It's the very last page of the packet.
Fisher grading is included in this. We did receive notice from DNR that everything was good to go on, with their packet of information. There was another contractor that was submitted with that same pay request. And so, and they had not provided some of the documentation that they needed, so they are actually pulling that portion out, and they'll pay it the next time once that documentation is provided, so it doesn't hold this up. So, it's ready to be paid.
So they'll be happy.
I was gonna say, Chris will be here Wednesday.
Well, that's awkward because I mailed it today.
To them? Okay, well, that'll be fine. Yeah, no, I think just the thought of that coming is, so, yeah, we've got a meeting Wednesday on the wastewater project out of the lagoons, so you can keep in
Other general government? Any as may arise. Make a motion, we adjourn. I have a motion to adjourn.
I second.
I have a motion, a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, we stand adjourned.